what is an organic acid?
At their basic level, they're chemicals that are organic in nature, meaning they have carbon. The way that we use them is they're kind of like intermediates of these different cellular processes. And most of the historical way in which they were used was actually to diagnose genetic diseases, what's called inborn errors of metabolism, which were very, very severe, usually diagnosed early in life in children who might have developmental disabilities or things of that nature. Kind of genetic mutations will show problems with these organic acids. It wasn't until much later that we realized, hey, these are all kind of the cars on the road. These are all the ones that if we're trying to understand biochemistry and we know what these cofactors are, like vitamins and minerals, then we can put these things together to say, wow, now we can start to use not just for diagnosis of inborn error of metabolism and mutations and things like that, but we can use them functionally. It's not as much about knowing that they're organic acids or what the name is, but how we're using them.
How do you recommend people approach these pages, if at all?
The first thing I always say is like everything from page 8 onward, that's your data set. And that's all the data that we use to roll up to give you these evaluations on page 1 for major highlights and key things that might be going on that you should look into. And then also it's the data that we use to generate the nutrient need recommendations or the overview. I would say if it's freaking you out, if it's way intimidating and you're not interested in it, then understanding that it's the data that generates the recommendations and the evaluations, you could probably just stop there. But there are, if you want to dig in a little bit deeper, some things that'll help you understand it. First is look at the headers. This first one is called malabsorption and dysbiosis markers. So right out of the gate, you can say this entire section here is basically looking for an indication of dysbiosis. And the more things you find elevated, the more suspicious I would be about, A, what's your GI like? Do you have symptoms? Are you having GI problems? Well, you've got some indications that you actually might have some dysbiosis going on in your gut. That might warrant further evaluation with maybe like a GI test.
And I would say don't freak out over any one biomarker. Like, for example, in this section, you're looking for the preponderance of evidence. Like, oh, I need more love in my GI tract. I need to figure out what's going on there. So try not to freak out over any one biomarker because we've done all the work for you.